Hello, this is Kyle Van Hook, and I'm here to just show you the project milestone I've made for the UAT gameplay gameplay concepts class. So, new features have already been added to the GitHub. The AI state maps have already been added as well. We have prefabs, where basically the player, the object, and the other stuff, but also the new AI enemies, at least 4 of them. A lot of new scripts, but it's probably better just like we've got the controllers for the AIs and all that stuff. Game manager, noisemaker. Oh, what's next? Alright. Shooting for the player is done using input action that gets the shooter for the pawn from the pawn and then does the shoot function. In the tank move, or not the tank move, the tank shooter, it has a parent class just called shooter, and then it goes through basically a function, basically detecting when the next shoot time is, which is when it last shot, and it's detecting this current time, and if it is, then we're going to, do sound, but this is new. Talk about that later. We're going to do the override for shoot, which is shoot with shoot force, and then we're also going to update the next shoot time by taking the current time right now, and then we're going to be inverting the fire rate, going from 1 shot to 1 second, 2 seconds per shot. And then shoot, we're just going to be instantiating an object and then shooting it using the rigid body. And we do the same thing for the AI shoots, which is the AI uses these. As we can see, once it loads, our character fires, and I'm shooting, but he has a fire rate. But as you can see, so do our enemies. They also work. What's next? Shooter component. Just look at the character. Shooter component has muzzle location, bullet prefab, and fire rate. The bullet is the one that has the damage done. Project class. Yeah, we have health components for both the characters and for our AI, so they also take damage. And they can also change their max health. We've currently hidden the current health in the inspector, but it is public and it's there. Health.take damage works, and I can show you that both for me and for the AI. Well, it kills me first, so at least that works for me. The bullets do harm me. I realize I probably should have put one that was not particularly smart or yeah. You go right there, because I need at least some time to actually show. 1, 2, 3. and our objects will die. And it's the same for all the other tanks. They're basically just copies of each other. Health and die function destroys the objects. I've kind of shown you that. Shells are triggers for health dot take damage. The shells have a damage on overlap. And if I can actually get that, on trigger enter, they will get the other object's health component. They'll check if they have a health component. Then they will do their take damage, and then they will destroy themselves. As for what else? Oh yeah, shells self-destruct after time and colliding with any object. They destroy themselves. You already saw that, but they also have a time limit, so they will destroy themselves after a while. Only code difference between enemies and players is controller type. I have so much stuff, I have no idea where everything is. Alright. No, this is the player controller. This is what we use. It is a child class of the controller. This is the controller AI. It's a very big file, but it is also a child class of the controller. And all the controller AIs are child classes of the controller AI, and therefore also child classes of the controller, etc., etc. Actually, I showed that one and showed this one. All right. I have 4 different I have 4 different AIs. They each have a different set of what they're supposed to do. The yellow ones have been made. They don't really check. They just check that they're supposed to be sentry turrets that will turn around at 90 degrees if they have not seen anyone, and will wait for a bit and then turn around and just continue patrolling. If they see the player, they will track and shoot him. And once he is gone, they will continue back to their turning state. The flee controller is an object that finds the player and then what does it find? I think it just it just turns and shoots at the player until they get close. Then, if the object is in range, they will then go into the flee state, where they will run away as far as they can until either the player is left or they are farther away that they can shoot again. The patroller is the pink one, and it goes on a set path of waypoints to patrol. It goes through starts at an idle. They all check if they have a target, just to make sure that they have the player as a target. They check if they can see or hear, and if they can't, they'll just continue on. And if about 5 seconds has elapsed in idle, it will then go into the turn state, which is where they will then turn towards the current waypoint, which should be the current waypoint that is the patrol point. And if about 2 seconds have passed, they will go into the patrol point, where they will patrol towards that object. In the controller AI, there is a bool called B-Stop Patrol. Where are you? So much stuff. Once it checks if the distance between the pawn and the current waypoint is less than the way stop distance, we are going to turn that bool to negative. We're also going to increment the waypoint. And at this point, our object should always be stopped, so it's fine. But if the waypoint is larger than if the current waypoint has been incremented to a larger value than the waypoint's dot length, we're going to set patrol, which just sets the waypoint to 0. And the reason we do this is because whenever we're patrolling, if we were to just get rid of this, it would work until the very last point where it's supposed to go back to 0. But it doesn't really do it in this section, so it turns, it tries to do the turn, tries to look at the next waypoint, but it has an index overflow because it's technically now 4, or well, index is 4 when there's only 0, 1, 2, 3. It's basically trying to look at 5. That was the big issue I had. And then the last object or controller is a AI pursuer. It's just going to idle a bit and then basically patrol or kind of act like a sentry, look in a circle until it sees or hears the player. Then it will chase and shoot them down until it loses track of them. And then it'll go back into the idle state. And it'll basically do that. Each tank has its own prefab. Yep, each tank has its own prefab down here. 4 or 9 personalities. They all have separate finite state machines. The finite state machine has been added to the repo. As for actions and senses, let's go back to the script. All the actions, senses, and functions. We have the states up here. We have some of these aren't needed because they weren't really used. We have a lot of the variables here. We have they're getting the pawn at the start, so that they can actually the controllers can actually get their object that they're attached to. That might be the wrong way to do it, but that's how I did it. We have the states. Some states we don't need. Some more. We have a couple overloads for seek. We have the fire. We have pawn do attack state. I should have. Oh well, it still works the same. We have turn towards the point. We have a lot of different functions and that are in all the actions and senses are contained in the parent. As for we do have a working can see function, and we have a I think working can hear function that detects whether an object is close. We have a couple of variations of chase. Let's see. We have basically seek, which is basically the chase function, and do chase up here as well, which it finds the target based either the game object, the transform, or the pawn and the vector, and then it just finds that object. The flee action is in here, right here. I should probably show off the blue pawn. And it does workish. I'll be honest, I've been busy trying to get this done and other stuff. It technically works, but I've probably not as good, but I don't have time to do it anymore. Hearing, distance plus noisemaker. Yeah, I've already shown you the hear exists in the AI and AI controller, and we do have noisemakers for the. Where is it? Yeah, we have a noisemaker here, and we just have it to set noise volume, and it sets the noise volume to an amount by the float amount, and then we have reset, which basically just resets it to 0. And it's in things like, I think I put some. No, pawn tank. pawn tank, I think. Yeah, the regular pawn tank has a noisemaker so that people can hear them. And then the tank shooter, also has a noisemaker. This is the reset function for the set noise. Where did I put the noise? Okay, yeah, it's all the set noises for the move and rotate and stuff are in the pawn tank, and they're only for the actual player functions. The ones down here are the rotate function, or the the AI functions for movement. Let's see, I've shown that we have vision. Yeah, we have can see right here for our pawns, or for our enemy pawns. AI control stored in the game manager. Let me bring that up. Alright. So we have a public list of controller AIs. And the controller AI here doesn't, because this is the base class, but the come on. Right? Yeah, right, I'm right. But the controller enemy AIs are added to the instance AI, or the game manager instance list, and they all have on start right here, and then they all have a void on destroy. They will be removed from the list. At least one helper function created to find objects that are nearest healthiest. Did I? A lot of this was made just finding the object. Can move forward. Technically, object in the brain is 1. We've technically target player 1. Patrol, but that's something different. Turn towards current point. That's not it. I was trying to find the nearest roam point for the pursuer, but that wasn't working. We do have target nearest tank, but this one isn't used. I guess the only things left are is I have this giant map that's been set for the AI, or just been made. And then the only things that I did to go above and beyond were that I made several materials, because I wanted to color code the AIs and the player. The player is always green. And you probably heard it before, but I did add sound to the game manager and to the shooting functions. And that's pretty much what I did. I've commented a lot. Also. I've commented a lot during here. So I should be good. But, yeah, I think that's everything. Everything else can be found on the GitHub. And thank you have a good day.